It's a very, very tough fight, Mom, but I think we finally whipped it. Um, Numerous stupid issues. I don't know how this happens, but um, we've got this new engine running, new engine for the 310. It's a brass buttons chassis. Um, we have smoke. I don't have it synchronized. I just have it me touching a wire, and then you see smoke. So we have smoke. Okay, I'm going to unhook it right now, and you'll hear the pitch and motor go up considerably. It likes that. It likes to go slow. And let's see, it can come down to 30. It pulls at 30 miles an hour. It's not bad. Do not have a pull more armature. My pull more armature seems to have died. I'm just not sure what's going on here. I'm going to have to retest it. I went through 4 or 5 armatures, and then I realized I had a bad board. New stock, batch of boards came in, and the first board was weird. It would run for 5 seconds, and the motor would stop. No. So I'm going through the motor. I think it's the motor, and then I plugged in a DC can, and it ran fine. And I go, son of a gun, what's wrong with my motor? I go through the motor, and I can't figure it out. Finally, I give up. I go get a new board, and it runs. So then I put the old board on a different engine, on Jim Shea's 310, and it runs 5 seconds and stops. So it is the board. Don't know what the heck's wrong. It looks exactly like the other one. There are some different components in there. I'm wondering if we might have made a switch on a transistor or something, but we'll get through it. But this board works wonderful. And as you saw, we had the smoke coming out in bellows. Now I need the timer piece, and I have the board for that. It gives us a timed puff chuff thing on a trigger, and I got a gear in there for the trigger. Now what I need to do is come up with what trigger mechanism do I want to use. I'm going back and forth between a switch and a infrared, but I think we'll be okay. All the stuff here works fine. Even the one I threw in the garbage, I pulled it back out. It works. It's like, oh God, what was I chasing yesterday? Oh yeah, thin wire, unbelievable. So I'm using all the good wire today. I'm not using any of the cheapy stuff. I mean, I do have some clamps in here, but that's just when I have to. Oh boy, not too bad. Oh, and I had like 5 volts or 5.5 volts to the heater, so I had plenty of heat power, plenty of speed. Nobody's getting, they're warm. Ow, he's warm, but he's not super hot. They need, well, this thing gets assembled, but they're going to need, oh, these guys are a little warm too. They're going to need heat sinks, which I have. Oh, thank God, the end of the day, and yeah, finally, a little ray of sunshine here. So I have both motors working, both motors smoking, the 310 and the 312. Now what I'm going to address for both of them is the packaging. And I really don't think I need to mess around with drilling holes. I really don't want to drill holes in this lovely chassis here. I think what I'm going to do instead is use my foam tape and use these mounts that I have, the red mounts, and I'm just going to tape the mounts down onto the chassis with the boards attached. And I've done that for years and years. I mean 10, 15 years with foam tape, and it works. It holds lots of stuff down. I'm going to put 2 big strips. I'm going to go around the, around the rivet there so the wire can move a little bit. And that will be just fine. And all he needs is the 9-volt power supply. He doesn't have the trigger issue. This one is going to need the 9-volt power or the 8-volt power supply, but he also has to have some kind of a trigger mechanism, and that's what that little board was, and some other stuff. And I'm going to try to get a chuff sound on this one too. So we'll have puff and chuff with fan, smoke, gear, Fat Man magnets, and digital reverse. He gets digital reverse and the smart lid smoke, and a Jim Shea magnetic steel fields, which is the same It's a DC motor, but it's just done differently. Here we 3D molded arc magnets, and this one is the original steel with some flat magnets. So finally, 2 of the engines are running with smoke. Okay, I think we're making headway now. Finally. Whoa, boy, this is just making you nuts when you know things work and then they don't. It's like, boy, it really tests your logic sense of debugging, you know, breaking it down. When I tested the DC can motor, I thought this thing's fine. That was a mistake. I should have tested it with the like motor, you know, like this one over here, put that on it, and it would have had the 5-second run and stop. This one, these may draw more current, like start current or something like that, than the DC can. I'll measure it sometime and let you know what the differences are, but these motors are pretty good. These got a ball bearing in front, standard wheel set, went through the wheels, they're squared. It does have the little rattly gear, but he's okay. He's not touching anything. No more flakes of red flying off. Half Dremel will travel, yeah. And boy, the smoke works. It sucks the air in here and pushes it back out, and boy, does it work. Maybe too good. I don't know. Well, of course, I have a 9-volt battery, so that's like crazy. Okay, gang, gonna run off. Success, 2 engines running with smoke, with digital reverse, and tomorrow should be tender day. Should be. Let today run. Well, it was in a way. I worked all morning on the northern tender for a Tim, but the afternoon I came back to my fun stuff too here. So, all right, more later. Bye.